First off, congratulations. We've been watching you guys, particularly on this show, for 7 seasons now. How does it feel? How do you feel thinking about playing your characters now since season one to now season seven?
Mm.
It's just like amazing. Like I still can't believe that we have 7 years banked. I think especially in this day and age, it's so rare for a show to go that long. So it just feels really amazing to be able to say that we worked on something for this long and like grew with these characters and have made a show that people still love and characters they relate to. So I don't know. I just can't believe that it feels like in some ways that season one was just yesterday, and then in other ways it feels like we've already done 20 seasons. So it's like both holding both of those things at the same time.
Mm. Absolutely. I mean, it's to be able to think back and just kind of visualize all of the growth that has occurred over the last 6.5 years now. It's bewildering is an intense word, but I think it's a word that applies, at least for me. To be able to go from like an untitled pilot to
Mm-hmm.
120 episodes is it's beautifully wild, and I'm very fortunate.
I love it. Now, how have you guys grown personally by playing these characters?
I think for me, like Layla has definitely taught me a lot about mental health, prioritizing mental health, leaning on your support systems. I think that yeah, and I hope that she's done that for a lot of people who watch. I think we take mental health very seriously on our show, and it's been really amazing to be a part of that conversation for young people to bring that topic to the forefront and continue to address it as the seasons go on and seeing all these characters on a mental health journey because it's not just a one and done situation. It's something that people it's constantly evolving and you're constantly needing to evolve your tools. So I think it's been really cool to be a part of that messaging, and I'm also one of the people that has really benefited, I think, from seeing it.
Patience, I think. Patience and the ability to similar to what Greta said, lean on your vortex, to lean on the people around you. Um, there's many instances I feel like where Jordan kind of gets worked up, and we see that, and uh, there's a silly aspect to it. But I think in reality, I would find myself getting worked up and kind of going internal as opposed to reaching out and allowing people to help me. And so to be in the position that I was, being able to play Jordan, see the effect that it had on him and the others around him, it just allowed me to grow as a young man and I asked for help whenever I needed it.
Speaking of Jordan, this
Mhm.
season you're a mentor. You now are taking on the mantle in which we first met Billy Baker, season one. How did you have to mentally change, or even if you didn't, but how did you mentally prepare to be this version of Jordan now?
I think I think I just wanted to slow things down. Right. I think I wanted to slow things down in a way that is, I want to be able to listen to the kids, and I want to be able to give them the best advice that I can possible. And I think that you'll see this version of Jordan in season 7 is that of one who is not talking nearly as fast, which is a physical thing. I think that it adds a layer of calmness to who he is as he steps into this new role. And just to prepare for that, I mean, I've been around a lot of coaches in my life. And so I've just kind of tapped back into thinking about what specific coach I kind of want to pull from, as far as the ones that have taught me and coached me over the many years of sports that I've played.
And Greta, when it comes to Layla, I think dynamically, you're one of the characters that we've seen go through a lot of ups and downs. Where are we
Mm-hmm.
going to see you personally and professionally this season?
Figuring out what's next. That's I think her main arc this year is she's someone who's been through a lot, who's achieved a lot, and so at a very young age she's sort of feeling a little bit like she's plateaued or a little stuck and not sure what's next. So this season will be sort of trying to find what that next thing is for her. in a way that I think feels much healthier. And there's obviously a pressure that everyone puts on themselves when they're going through that. But I think she's got more tools now to sort of figure out how to go about that, and not drive herself to just to do it in a more healthy way, essentially. So that'll be her story.
No, interesting because I remember watching, I think it was episode 1 or 2, I'm not exactly sure. And
Mm-hmm.
she's like, I'm under 25 and I've achieved all this.
Yeah, I've peaked. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm interested to see how many young kids relate to that
Oh,
because
totally.
because I feel like where we're at now, a lot of kids, because they do so much at younger ages, they may feel
Mm-hmm.
that same way. So it was quite interesting because I was like, oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
A
I
lot.
think it's so relatable, and it goes both ways. I think there's a lot of people who sort of feel like, oh, I'm already this age and I haven't achieved all these things. And then there's a lot of people I think now that also feel like, well, I've already done everything and like I don't really know what's next. And there can be this sort of like loss of identity or loss of purpose that happens. It can be really scary. So yeah, well, that you'll see Layla essentially go through that this season.
And last question. So, one thing I love a lot about All American are your fans. You guys have you have a really diehard fan base. But
Yes.
it does come to them seeing the change because as you guys are pivoting to different roles in your characters, they're going to be watching it and meeting new faces and stuff. So, what are you hoping fans just approach this season?
How did they approach it with an open mind? I understand,
Hmm.
that it's going to look different. This where you're missing some of your favorite characters, and that can be frustrating. But if you're going to watch it, I hope you do. And approach it with an open mind because I think that you will find that these new characters, you'll find bits and pieces of your favorites inside of them,
Hmm.
and these new characters and these new stories. I think that you will develop a newfound love for the show, a rekindled love for the show.
And you still get the comforts of previous seasons. You're going to see a lot of familiar faces and places. So there's still going to be that, plus some, things that are new and exciting. And this new cast is so great. So I agree off of what Michael said. I hope that people just approach it with an open mind because I think they'll really enjoy it.
I love that. Thank you guys so much for taking the time and speaking with me. And
Thank
congratulations on another
you.